plants. This is Gintara from What's Up Orchids. I hope you are having a good day today, and I just wanted to say a quick thank you so much for watching my first video, for commenting on it, and for subscribing to my channel. I got so much support. I honestly didn't think I'm gonna get this much support at the start, so honestly thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. And without further ado, I want to jump into this second video, and I'm gonna start a small series of every individual orchid I've got at the moment, and I'm gonna cover how I got it, how I treated it so far, what it's done up until this point, and then we will obviously see the videos in the future how the orchids are doing later on. But I thought it might almost seem like it's starting from the middle, so I just wanted to give a bit more background about every orchid, so that it's kind of easier to follow what's going on and what's going to happen next. I'm gonna cover one orchid per video, so that each video is pretty small and short and sweet, and also if you're not into some of the orchids, you can skip through, not watch the video if you don't like it. I've got around 25 or 26 separate plants, so it's going to be quite a few videos anyway, but hopefully I'll keep them quite short, up to 10 minutes long. And I've also planned another type of series that I will do, which is going to be a bit different topic. I'm gonna talk about it in the next video more, but just to let you know there is more coming up. So if you're not into listening to my orchids, about my orchids, you'll have something else to watch. So without further ado, let's jump in, and I'm gonna start with my first ever orchid I received, which is this beautiful Phalaenopsis. So it's a standard size complex hybrid Phalaenopsis. My husband gifted this to me around mid-January, and this is where it all started. So it only took one orchid to get me going, and now I can't stop. So if you don't have any orchids yet and you don't want to become an addict, don't get any orchids. But it's a fun hobby, obviously. If that's my only addiction, that's great. I'm happy with that. So this orchid came from a supermarket. You will see a photo on the screen, what it looked like when it first came here. Let me get it down a little bit so you can see the orchid. So yeah, came from a supermarket. It had blue flowers, and at that time I didn't know if that's a real color, if it's dyed orchid. I honestly knew absolutely nothing about orchids or houseplants for that matter. So this orchid prompted me to go onto YouTube, watch videos from the very beginning. How do they grow? How to water them? How to fertilize them? How to repot them? I honestly had zero knowledge. So when I watched my first video and found out that they actually grow on trees and they grow in air and not in soil, I was really surprised. I didn't even know there are plants that grow like that. So that gives an idea how much knowledge I had at that point, which is absolutely none. So I'm happy that I started watching the videos, before I started, repotting the orchid or doing anything else, because if I potted that in soil, obviously it would have died pretty quickly. So it survived everything so far. The flowers, it had 2 flower spikes, as you could see from the photo. And I later found out that there are no blue orchids, so this was obviously dyed. The flower spikes dried up pretty quickly, so I cut them all off at the base, and that was it. And after that, the orchid, after I first repotted it, it kind of lost a lot of its roots, and I think it was just it just didn't like the change of environment. But it soon, it started growing quite a lot of roots. It's now, this pot is now full of roots. I mean, it's obviously got loads of aerial roots as well. And as you can see in the pot, it's full of roots. Some root tips are still active, so the roots are still growing. It's got loads of roots. I think what I'll do, I will maybe repot this in the spring and cut quite a lot of roots so I can keep it in the same size pot. Because as you know, I'm more into smaller orchids, so I don't want this to up-pot into a bigger pot. But yeah, we'll see if that's okay. And then it grew this leaf, kind of in summer, and I was hoping it will actually grow another leaf before it grows a spike, because as I was watching all these videos, I found out that these orchids usually don't bloom until they have a drop in temperature, which basically induces blooming, and I didn't give any of that to it. So I was hoping it will grow a second leaf, and hopefully if I manage to get it to bloom, it will maybe give me 2 flower spikes. But obviously orchids don't care what we want, they do what they want. So as soon as this leaf matured, it just basically threw up a flower spike straight away, as you can see here. And that was, I think, about July, August time when it did that. Took quite a while for the buds to, develop in full, which is understandable. And it flowered for about 3 months until about mid-December, and then the flowers started to drop, and I cut this spike kind of halfway through to hopefully induce blooming, but now I can see actually the spike started to dry out a little bit. So I think I actually cut it too close to the node as well. Obviously it could branch from the node below, but yeah, I think it might dry out. If it dries out in full, I'll just cut it all, the whole spike to the base, and then wait for another leaf. I keep checking the crown on this, hoping that the new leaf will start coming out soon, because at the moment it's not really doing anything. It's got a few active roots, so it's still growing some roots, but apart from that, it's not really doing much. I'm still watering it as normal, fertilizing it, I'm not giving it any kind of interest or anything like that. And given that the flower spike is now done with it, I'm just hoping that it will need some food for a new leaf. So that's pretty much it on this orchid. If you have any questions or comments or any notes, please leave them in the comment section below. And again, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye! Oh, and by the way, Charlie says hi.